overall it's like really there, but how much are they? 200, you want high-end ones, 400, I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Can I put the heat on it?
yeah, of course, go ahead. Right, so let's keep going. So you may still not sure like when is a really good, like when is the correct time to put a checkpoint or commit. But the answer is there's no standard answer for that. Just trying like as long as you're going, I mean, as long as you make one changes and create a commit, that's going to be good enough. And there may be a different requirements depends on the company. They have their own habits, and if you're working on your own, you're gonna come up with your own habits. You will feel like, okay, this is a good point. Sometimes maybe I want to come back and just create commits for that. Just as we are learning, and you're gonna see like when is a better place to create commits. You're gonna come up like there's a feeling for that. There's a time for create commits. There's really no standard really answer for that. Just remember like one stuff, one commits. Yeah, one feature, one commits, one stuff, one commits. Right, so let's keep going.
When writing code, in many languages, it's common to have features that span multiple files. Let's say you have a function that currently takes one argument, defined in one file, and a call to this function in another file. If you want to change this function to take an additional argument, you will need to simultaneously change code in both files. In many of the non-code-oriented version control systems we mentioned previously, files are tracked one at a time. If I open two Google Docs and edit both of them, then later I want to find the versions of the files before I made either of the edits. First I have to find the right version in one doc, then dig through the other one's log to find the revision from approximately the same time. That's doable, but really annoying. Let's consider a few situations to think about whether tracking files individually or together makes more sense. For example, competition-style coding. In case you're not familiar with them, most coding competitions just ask you to solve a problem that can be done in a single file. Another example would be an HTML file and a CSS file that together make up a web page. Or maybe some photos that you photoshopped. Or a novel split up into multiple chapters. For each of these situations, if you think it makes more sense to track the files together rather than separately, check the box next to it.
Right. So what you mentioned is like in coding, there's some cases like when you're trying to implement one features, you can touch more than one files. If you come up with a project, there's a lot of files inside it. In order to create one new features, you may need to open the first file, change something, and open the second file, change something, open the third file, change something. So you may like after you finish those changes, you may want to put everything into one checkpoint. Not like the one checkpoint for the first file, another checkpoint for the second file, or another checkpoint for the rest file. So it's going to be annoying. Just like if you're using Google Docs, you cannot combine two files into same history, same checkpoint. It's impossible. They have their own checkpoints. Each checkpoint just for the file just opened. So there's some cases like for those things. Maybe some things here you're not familiar with, but there are some. He just mentioned some. There's some situations you may need to combine more than one files into a checkpoint. And within Git, you're allowed to do that. Like Git doesn't really care about how many files you want to put into a commit. He's just going to remember all the files you have so far and make this as a checkpoint. And once you come back to the checkpoint, it's going to restore all the files to that point. All right, let's keep going. We're just gonna skip this one.
You're talking about like two different files, like the whole game old and game new. Or you're talking about like actual changes.
It's not gonna be like that. So for example,
that's why when I think files, I'm talking about like I'm thinking a whole document setup.
Let me see if I can come up with an example without coding.
Because that's what's confusing me. Because when I see files, then I'm thinking you're doing two different documents. But when I'm thinking of the commit, then that will be different versions within one file, right?
right? So think about I'm working on the MCable website project right now.
Okay.
Right? So I can tell you to finish this whole website, there's more than one file. There's a lot of them, like 100 or 1,000. So for example, in this here, I do not want to call this curriculum anymore. I want to change this curriculum into schedule. So I need to fix this one word. And down here, there is also a curriculum. I need to fix that. That word maybe come up from another file. Although they are the same page, but this page can be combined with different files. So I also need to fix this word in another file. Maybe this file is called navbar. I open the navbar file, find that word, fix it. Here, there's something like a card view. I find the card, fix that typo or word. I fix that. So there's two things I fix. I do not want to create a restore point for the first one and to create another restore point for the second one. I want to keep them both in one commit.
Because they're both the same.
Yeah, same thing. You always want them to both showing curriculum or both showing schedule.
So when you're saying files, is it the different pages that you have set up?
Different files. As I said, this part can be a file called like a card deck. And there's 6 cards inside it. Each card have an icon, have a name. And up here, it's maybe another file. And it's a file only contains like some buttons. It's a navigation bar. So this can be 2 files. And both of them have curriculum. And I need to, if I want to change the curriculum into schedule, I need to open this navigation bar file, looking for that word, change that to schedule. Also, I need to looking for another file called card, looking for that curriculum, change that to schedule. There are 2 files. And because I only want to keep them they're always going to be the same. Either both of them are going to be curriculum, or both of them are going to be the schedule. So I can only create. I only need to create one checkpoint for that. Yes, I can create 2, but it's going to be confusing myself. Because confusing the team also is pointless. I don't want it to one schema and one curriculum. So that's 2 changes, but it's just 2 files, but still 1 commit.
Because I was surprised that we have to do that because I feel like if we change the heading, that will automatically change the curriculum because they mirror each other.
They are not actually mirror each other.
Okay.
For example, if you think about you're writing AC, there's some words you're using again and again. If you change it once, the rest of it won't change.
Oh.
Think about that. Like, we're running an AC.
Because they wouldn't understand that. Because I thought that was connected in some way. Because if you don't use the top, you can also.
Well, there's two of them buttons are connected to the same place, but that word itself is manually typed.
Okay.
Alright. Let's keep going.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Just give you some better understanding. No, let's keep going here.
In this case, even though coding is involved, the files are not really interrelated, so it's fine to track each of the files separately, so we don't need to check this one. In this case, the files will be highly interrelated. The CSS file will define styles that refer to elements in the HTML file, so there will likely be changes that involve both files. For example, you might have a single change that both adds an element to the HTML file and also adds in a rule to the CSS file to position and style that element. For this third one, it's probably fine to track the files separately, since it's unlikely that changes to one image will have anything to do with changes to another file. For this last one, you could sort of go either way. In most cases, changing a single chapter won't have much effect on the other chapters, but if you wanted to make a big change, like changing a character's name, you probably want to change it across all the chapters all at once. So checking this would be reasonable too.
So she just come up with some examples, like you may want to change more than one file or more than one place. So you may want to keep all these things, no matter which file they are, but just want to put them into one commit. So you can, when you try to restore it, you can restore them together. Right? That's just a point. Right? So for the HTML and CSS, you can learn it in next week. It's just two kinds of different files working together. We can learn it in future. Don't worry about it right now.
You just saw with Sarah that when you work on a project, you'll often have multiple files that you want to track together. Git calls such a collection of files a repository. When you save a version of your files in Git, in other words, when you make a commit, you will save a version of every file in your repository. If you only have one file in your repository, for example, game.js, You already know that Git stores a version of your file each time you choose to commit.
Alright, so pause a second. So repository, that's not that complicated. Repository, you can just treat it as a folder. So that you have a folder contains 3 files. That is a repository. You can think about this in the project. This project is only have 3 files. That is this project. Think about like this is msymbol project. They have a lot of files inside it. That is a repository for msymbol. That is a project for msymbol. That is a folder for msymbol. Right? So treat it as a folder. Don't think it too much. Let's keep going.
Repository. If you only have one file in your repository, for example, game.js, you already know that Git stores a version of your file each time you choose to commit. So if you committed changes at 1 o'clock, 2:15, 6:09, 6:54, and 8:20, then it would look like this. But you might also have some other files in your repository, for example, index.html and index.css. You don't need to understand what these files are. The important thing is that all 3 files are connected, so they're all required for the game to function properly. Git will also track the state of these files each time you commit. A commit is a snapshot of every file in your repository at the time you choose to make the commit. So for example, this is the 4th commit in this repository. If you've only changed game.js in this 4th commit, then index.html and index.css will be identical between these 2 commits. On the other hand, you can change all the files in a single commit. For example, if you added a new button in the 3rd commit, that would affect all 3 files. So if you did a diff between the 2nd and the 3rd commit, you would see the differences in all 3.
Right, so she's making this more confusing. So so what happened here right now is like we have a folder. In that folder, we have 3 files. One is called game.js. Another one is called index.html. And the third one is called index.css. Every time when you create a commit, like for example, you change something in the game.js and you want to create a commit. When you're doing commit, you are like for example, you change something here at 2:15, you want to create a commit right now, and when you commit it, it will record all the changes you made at this point. And also, if you did even like you didn't touch the index.html and CSS, it will still record the current version. Maybe these 2 are identical, but it's going to still record a new version for index.html and index.css and at 2:15. So once when you keep working to this point, when you try to restore to here, it's going to using the version all the files in that folder at 2:15. Got it? Yeah.
So my question is, okay, I understand repository for some sake.
Yeah.
Should have multiple files, right? All in the same version because you need all those files to actually do one program.
Yeah.
Okay. So my issue is when I'm starting to do coding, there's only going to be one version for each. I'm only going to do one file at one time.
Yes.
I'm only going to, so when is it, I guess, logical to folder everything?
So let's come up with a real example. For example, right now I'm trying to. Yeah, that's good questions.
Too many questions.
So for example, I'm just trying to start a new project. I'm gonna create a new folder to store everything. I call it my final project maybe. Final project. That is a new project. When I open it, it's totally empty, nothing inside it. And I'll start it. I start working. And I'll start creating my first file. It's going to be a txt file, text document. And this is my home page, something like that. That's my first file. I created that. I added something inside it. Like for example, I just open it, start typing, start putting something like hello, this is welcome to my page, something like that. Welcome, something like that. And I close it. Okay, that's today's work. I'm create a commit. So in this commit, I only made one change in one file. So that's only one commit.
But I understand what she was saying, like, okay, you need the 3 files to actually have the page working correctly.
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Oh, sorry. I need to stop saying yeah.
I just want to move it slowly, make sure everyone understands it.
Appreciate it.
Right, so and that's it. I just create a folder, right? This folder. This is the folder. Inside it, I only have one file, which is called the home page, right? It's just using home here. That is this file. That is my first commit, right? First commit. In this commit, I just have one file, which is called home, right? Okay. Now it's the second day. I get up and start working.
You're doing like another tab.
And all right, I'm going to do something more today. Yesterday I did a hello, welcome, and here I can say goodbye. This is one word, sorry. Goodbye. That's my second changes. Okay. Maybe I want to working on something more. Like I can create another file. It's gonna be my my video page, and I'm going to run something here. Watch it, please. Something like that. And save it. Okay, that's my second day's work. That's it. And right now I want to create another commit. And I don't want to separate those two things into two commits. Just want to keep everything in just one commit, right? And I create another commit. And now I come up with my second commit. So in my second commit, still the same folder, same repository, same project. I have a home file, which is a new version, and I have a second file, which is called video, right? That is my current commit, current version.
So now you have the commits. Now you have the two files.
I have two files.
Is that when you open up a repository?
Yeah. So if I open my project, those are two things I have right now. That's my current version. If I compare the second commit, if I compare the current commit, the current version I have with the previous version, yeah, I will clearly say I added one line in the home, and also I added a new file in the repository, right? That is if I compare it. So okay, let's come to the third day. Right, I'm making something new today, or something extra. But today I do not want to touch homepage. I think homepage, that's it, that's done. I'm going to still working on the radio TXT. Watch it, please, and donate after you watch, please. Right, donate after watching it. Right, I just added one more sentences in the video. I'm done today. I want to do a commit. Today I only touched the video.txt. I didn't touch the home, right? I didn't touch the first file. I only touched the video file. So I'm creating my third commit. So when I create my third commit,
The home page will remain the same.
right? So here comes the interesting part. So when I create a commit, basically I'm going to create a checkpoint for my current repository. In my current repository, what do we have? We have home.js. We have video. Well, sorry, not JS, TXT. Video.txt, the two files, home and video. So there are some changes between these two, right? They are not equal. But this home and that home, they are identical. I didn't change anything. But when you create that commit, it's still going to keep two versions, like a newer version of home, even though they are identical, because they are going to just create a checkpoint for all the files I have currently in my repository, currently in my folder. So once I keep going, I want to come back to this commit. It's going to restore everything to this point. Otherwise, if I didn't commit home, I only commit the changes. I only commit the video, and then once I come back, my home page disappears. And this checkpoint doesn't have a home page. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you create commits, even though you didn't touch the file, it's still going to record that file's status at that point. Right?
Yeah.
So it's basically there's nothing new to worry about. Just remember, like when you create checkpoints, it's just going to restore. It's just going to remember everything in your repository right now. It's going to remember everything you did in your current folder.
Okay.
So this is also what she mentioned in the video. Like what she mentioned here is even she only touched the game.js. Every commit she did, the system, the Git also going to remember those 2 files he never touched. Right. Don't worry about that too much. Right. Don't worry about it too much. You're gonna see how it works when you come to real repository, real project. When you're doing that, and you're going to start to commit stuff. And when we commit stuff, we're gonna always commit all the stuff inside it. And sometimes maybe when you need to restore it, you can just restore the points like whatever the version is. Alright. So yeah, let's keep going.
If you did a diff between the second and the third commit, you would see the differences in all 3. Let's take a look at how that looks. First, I'll do a git log, and I'll use the --stat option, which gives some statistics about which files have changed in each commit. So we can see all the same information here as before, but each commit also shows which files were affected in that commit. You can see that these most recent 2 commits only affected game.js. The green plus signs indicate additions, and the red minus signs indicate deletions. So you can see that in this commit, some code was added and some code was deleted. The number of pluses and minuses is proportional to the size of the change. You don't need to worry about the units, but you can see that this second commit is a much bigger total change than the first commit. Now I'll scroll down a bit to try to find a commit that affects more than one file. Here's one. You can see that this commit affected game.js, index.html, and ipad.js. Now I'll press Q to stop viewing the git log output. And I'll go ahead and type git diff and the 2 commit IDs that I want to compare. So this one and this one. Like before, we see output indicating which file has been changed. First, game.js changed, and here's the diff for game.js. Next, we see that index.html was changed. And scrolling down, we can also see the diff for index.html. Finally, ipad.js was also changed, and we can scroll down to see the changes to that file.
So with the git diff, you will be able to compare more than one file at the same time. You basically can compare 2 versions. Remember, when we use diff, we can only compare 2 files, game old and game new. But when you're using the git diff, you can just compare 2 different versions, and within that version, there may be more than one file. If you just touch more than one file, it's going to be more than one file. Alright? That's it. So in here, basically, in the whole lecture is going to, not the whole lecture, the whole course in this how to use Git and GitHub. It's more than just help you to understanding what is happening behind the Git. It's nothing like really going to be some technique stuff you need to remember. You need to remember nothing. Just need to understand it a little bit. So when you're working with Git in the future, you're gonna have idea what is actually happening here. That's it. Right? You don't have to remember any like a command inside it. We won't use any of them, I can tell you. Right? It's basically in lesson 1. Maybe in lesson 3 and 4, when it comes up with GitHub, you're gonna need to know how to push your code, how to send your code to GitHub. That's maybe the only thing you should remember. Other things, just try to understand it. That's enough. Yeah. If you do not understand it, don't worry about it. Just come back at any time when you have time. That's not gonna influence your future study. It's just going to give you some ideas of what is happening behind it. All right, just keep going. Let's just reflect. Let's skip it. Some interview. Let's check in. She's talking about with some developer and let you know how important it is using the version control.
This guy?
Yeah.
My name is Jeffrey Middleton. I work at Google on search, specifically in web ranking, which is how we decide for a given query what results we're going to show in what order. And I've been using Git since I first started programming, really, for about 6 years. So for me, the biggest useful thing about version control is when I'm working on something bigger on my own. If I'm just doing a small task, it's kind of okay to be able to do it without any version control. I can just sit there, do the little thing, be done with it. But if it's something bigger, I really like to be able to break it up into pieces to kind of think about my work in terms of a bunch of steps, and to be able to fix all of my mistakes by moving forward and backward, and kind of get everything together in the right way before I'm really ready to share it with other people. The learning curve with version control really varies a lot depending on what you're using. I think some systems that don't offer as much are really fast to pick up, but then more complex version control systems like Git, there is a pretty steep learning curve, but I think it's worth it because the power is so great, and once you do learn it, once you get past the curve, you can really do a lot, and it's things that you couldn't do without having learned that much.
Yeah. just
Okay, set.
just some inspiration. Yeah. Let's keep going. So here I just talk about installing Git. We already installed it on the computer. If you want to install it on your computer, what you're gonna do is you're going to go to the Google, search for Git. Oh, sorry, it's not GitHub, it's Git. And usually it's the first one here, or here, it's the same thing. Click that. That's going to bring you to the website of Git, and you're going to choose download for either for Windows or for Mac. If you're using Windows, if you hit download, that's going to start downloading the Git. And once it's downloaded, we can just click it to install it. And when you install it, basically you do not have to change any options. Just keep clicking next.
Are we gonna open it now?
You do not have to. Just let you know if you have a home computer you want to install it.
Yeah, I definitely do.
It's free, right?
It is free. Everything I teach in this class is free. You can use it in your own computer. Right?
Even code, the code.
Yeah, everything is free. Yeah, all the libraries. So like okay, it's just finished downloading. I just click it, and it's going to bring up the installation page. Let's keep clicking next, and do not have to change anything. Just click next, just click next. Yeah, nothing will change. So setting, it seems like it cannot continue because I have the Git opening here. I have to close it first to continue. But just remember, do not have to change anything, and keep clicking next, and install it, and you're out. You're done. There's nothing to change, right? That's it. So that's how you install Git. And once you install that, you will be able to using the Git bash. Just right click, and in Windows just choose Git bash here, or just search for the Git in the search bar. All right, just search for the Git here. It's gonna also come up with the Git bash. All right, let's keep going. In this one, she's trying to ask us to using Git to download her file, her project, and try to working on her project. See to check her checkpoints, and see to see what she changed, and see if we can find some how many lines she changed in one commit, how many files he changed in one commit, and such something. Just take a look of her working history. Right? Let's first the video first.
Now that Git is installed, you'll need to download the asteroids repository. To do that, you'll need to be somewhere with internet access, which is why I've left the forest. Now let's get started and download the repository. I'm sure you've downloaded files before, but in this case what we're doing is a little different, because we don't just want to download the actual files, which would be the files from the most recent commit. Instead, we want to download the entire history. Git has a command allowing you to copy an entire repository from one computer to another. The command is called git clone because it creates a clone of the repository. To use it, type git clone, followed by a URL to the other repository. We put the URL for the asteroids repository in the instructor's notes. So go ahead and copy that URL and clone the repository, like this. Now I won't need internet access anymore for the rest of the lesson, so I'm going to head back to the forest. Once the repository is finished cloning, go ahead and CD into it. Now you should be able to use git log and git diff just like I did earlier. Go ahead and give it a try. In order to get the colored diff output like you saw earlier, with the red for deletions and green for insertions, run the command git config -- global color.ui auto. If you don't do this, you'll just see black and white diffs, which will be harder to read. The git config command just changes your settings in Git, and the -- global flag means that it will apply to all of your Git projects, and not only this one. Use git log to find the ID of the commit that reverted the controls. This commit has the message revert controls. Enter the ID of that commit in this box. Then use git diff to find how many lines were added and deleted by that commit, and enter those numbers here. Recall that to find the difference between two commits, you use the command git diff, the ID of the first commit, and then the ID of the second commit.
Alright, so do not focus on how to change the color of it. That's not even important. We're not gonna even use it. We're not gonna use it deeply, I can tell you. We don't need it. Because there's something more easy to use and more powerful. I can actually show you in a second. So there's one command you're gonna remember. We're gonna use it a lot. It's called git clone. We're gonna use git clone to clone your repository. For example, you are working with this computer in this lab, and once you finish today's work, you want to send your code to maybe to GitHub. Later I'm gonna teach about it. You send the code to GitHub, and then when you go back to home, you want to work on the same project. How do you get the code back? You clone it. You're gonna clone it from GitHub, and you can have the two computers working on the same project at the same time. It's not even need a USB drive for it.
But I was confused because I saw her, do the clone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she did a difference. What is she doing the difference of? The difference
she just want to show you after you clone it, you will be able to do the git diff. Because that is
exactly the same.
That is a git repository, so you will be able to run any git command inside it. Yeah, that's it.
So the Git code that you will get for whatever you're trying to access will be in the form of a URL.
Yeah, that is just
always in a URL. Like it's always gonna be a URL.
Yes, always gonna be URL. It's going to be some online place where they hold that files. Yeah. So before we do everything, actually we need to. I need you guys to following me to do one thing. So first let me check it. What's a command for that? Git set email and username. Oh, but is anyone haven't like create account for GitHub? Yeah, we need everyone to create an account on GitHub. Haven't? Okay. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that later. Don't worry about that. So what I plan to do is like we're going to set up this computer to bind with your GitHub account. So every time whatever you change, it's going to be marked changed by you.
So how do we get GitHub?
GitHub. Yeah. GitHub is not a software. It's just an online platform. If you Google it, it's a website. Well, yeah, you were not here yesterday. I talked about yesterday. So GitHub. So this is a GitHub website.
Yes.
We talked about it yesterday. Like it is an online platform. It's just like the Dropbox, but it's just especially for the code. Okay. It's an online coding sharing platform actually. People are sharing the open source coding here. That means by open source, that means everybody can see your code. They will be able to contribute to it if they want, but they under your permission, of course. And then, but they are not allowed to directly copy your code to using it for any business purpose. That is illegal. You can sue them if you found someone is using your project for some business stuff. For example, even the Chrome is open source. You'll never see someone stealing his code here and create another Chrome. That is illegal, right? That is open source, but you can only use it to learn the ideas about it and to try to contribute to it, to try to be part of it. You cannot just steal code from it. That is what open source means. And this is a big public Dropbox, big public cloud drive. You'll be able to submit all your coding here. For example, I have all my coding here. That is all the projects I've done. And if you open, see, yeah, I even have the M symbol one. So let's say where is the one for M symbol?
You be working faster.
Here.
Oh, yeah.
That is
50 of them, right?
More than that.
More than that? Oh.
Yeah. So this is all the code for our M symbol website. I put it here. Everyone can see that. That is a lot of folders, a lot of files inside it, a lot of stuff. Like you can see all the code I did inside it, everything.
Wait, slow down. I want to get a little look.
You can learn it.
Make it sound like
So everyone will be able to see the code. And also you can see my working history, see how many changes I did. I did 174 changes, like commits. Every commit, you can see this. When you do the git log, this is come up with the history like this. Like you're gonna have the messages left here. In here, I fixed the message error and adding a heading in a contact page, and also.
There's an error for LinkedIn. My LinkedIn didn't come in.
Oh, I can fix it.
Yeah.
Sure. So and also it's gonna mention who committed this. Think about it. Maybe it's important. there's gonna be a lot of people doing commits, and we're gonna need to know who did that change. So what I was trying to ask you to do is try to bind your GitHub with this computer. So when you use the computer, all the changes are marked with your name. The benefit is like it's also all the changes also going to show in your project. It's going in your profile.
Oh wow. Like a history, like a.
Yeah. It's going to show in this chart.
Of your work.
Is that the portfolio?
Something like it.
It's kind of like a portfolio, but it's just for your portfolio to show your working, and not showing your working, it's showing your the project you've done to show your skills.
Right. Yeah.
But this is my thing that
the history, right?
So you explained Bitcoin, and we need the URL. So if it was us, in a group, and we're using GitHub, would I have to give them permission to actually contribute as well?
Oh yeah, well you got.
You will need you will need the permission to be able to contribute it, but you won't need permission to download the code. You can download anyone's code because that's called open source. You can download anyone's code from here. After you download it, you can play around with it. But if you want to use it for any business purpose, if anyone saw you using it, you're gonna be getting in trouble. Right? Also, you can this is also
a respect thing. Don't do it, or you be in jail.
I think you will be in jail. It's just like some artist stuff. Like you see someone upload some images online.
That's right.
If you stole their image, they're gonna get in trouble. Yeah, something about copyright.
Right, that copyright.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, that's also the way you contribute to the project. You are free to download this code. Once you download it, play around with it or fix some errors inside it, and you will be able to send this code to the owner of the project, saying, okay, I downloaded your code and I fixed some error inside it. Please take a look. Maybe I think that's a better version you want to use. If they agree with it, you're gonna using your versions. That's how you contribute to the project.
Which credits you.
Yeah, you will. You will be marked as one of the contributors to that project, and you can show in that to the employee, to the HR thing. Okay, so here, this is an open project which is really popular. This is Chrome. Thousands of people are working on that. I did some contributions. You want to take a look? That is gonna give you.
Contribution to Chrome?
I didn't. I didn't. Yeah. So, but once you do, you can. If you did that, point that out in your resume.
I guess they change it every day because they change the Google sign every day.
Right. So also, all your, as I said, all your commits going to go here. Like today, I did 13 commits. It's going to say 13 contribution on March 1st, 2019. So and here, today, this is each box stands for 1 day. This is February 28th. I did 14 commits here. So all the contributions going to show in here.
14 contributions to what?
Oh, so if you click that, I think every time I click it, it's gonna show it here.
Why some of them are light and some of them are dark?
We did more on the day.
More on that day.
Yeah.
The lighter, the less work.
The darker, the more work, the more contribution. So if I click that, it say 14 commits, and here is the commits are coming. Created 14 commits in one repository, and repository link is
one file. Right?
That's the Omni website. I'm working on a new Omni website. I can show you actually here.
Omni?
How many? One. I'm working on the new Omni website. We're going to use this to replace the old one. The old one also done by me.
Wow.
No, you're just really good. Really good.
It takes some time because I'm just testing down online on the free server. The free server is always slow, Yeah, it's going to be better. So just again, if you click any square here, it's going to show all the commits. Created 6 commits in one repository. If you're working on more than one repository, it's also going to mention that. I think I usually just working on one repository at a day, so you will not be able to see there's more than one. Yeah, really? Yeah. Create 14 commits in 2 repositories. One is the M symbol, another one is a webmaker. So that's 2 different projects. You can get into both of them later. Yeah. So as I said, this is a new Omni website I'm working on right now, and it's going to replace our old one. They have all the functions we have so far, like the events, the Twitter, some
rotating bin is dope. It just changed? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You got the sides. So
it's also all gonna move it automatically, and it just takes some time.
Because it has a little dot.
Yeah, well, after this program, you're gonna learn everything. You're gonna learn everything about it. You're gonna be able to make things like this, alright?
Wow.
Like I have upcoming events, recent tweets. That's going to be our future Omnic website. I'm still working on it.
You
Almost
designed that
done.
whole thing?
Yeah.
So this is not live yet.
It's not. It's actually you can go to this website to check it right now. Every computer can do that, but it's still in the test version. It's not open for public right now. Yeah. So yeah, like some
Like it's on the server?
Omnic some error here haven't finished yet.
My man Darnell, you got a video.
Yeah, that is our Omnic playlist. You will be able to check all our website, all our videos here. And in here it's supposed to check all our Instagram images. I think.
Good.
They got Instagram.
Yeah, we do. Let me show you.
Everything, everything to it.
So it takes some time to load it, but once it loads, keep it down. So here are our Instagram. And if you move your mouse here, you can see how many people are committed to it.
Oh, who did the Reebok collaboration? Who did that? Who did that?
That is
Customization. Someone did a custom
no.
sneaker?
We actually collaborated with Reebok.
You really were
Some students from here went into Reebok, and we built some connections with them. So they designed this for us.
Oh wow.
They designed this for us.
That's big. You don't got a pen? You gotta call them and say, send me a pen and sneakers.
Well, they are making like a limited 500 for us, only for us.
I'm trying to get
That
Only
part
for
of the
staff?
class, right? So that's part of the stuff we get. That's packaged to give the class, right?
I actually have no idea if they are still making that, because I heard some news from Reebok like there's something wrong with their Chinese factory, so maybe they canceled the plans. I'm not quite sure about that. Alright, so yeah, just to show like this is kind of like a website you'll be able to do. Like also have the about page and actually make a timeline here. Something that's
dope too. That's dope.
all those things you will be able to make after this program. Timeline. And you'll be able to click that to check in the history of newspaper or something like that. Yeah, everything here you'll be able to do. Yeah, everything here.
Did you find that information or someone brought it to you? Like you
I
researched the information?
No. I just get information from like we keep those information in some kind of files.
Okay.
And I just need to make
the files, found them, dug them out. Okay, alright.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, this is going to be our new site. Let's do that. Yeah, this is going to be something you will be able to make after this one. This is a background video.
Somebody that passed.
Yeah, some of us. It's just some background video and just some background video you're gonna be able to.
So is it on mute right now? Do you set it up to be like that until someone wants to actually hear it?
So how it does actually works is like if it's working in some big company, more than one developer, you as a developer you are not responsible to design everything. There are some designers who is going to design the pages in some like images or PDF in some or what do they call what do they call
It's okay.
Provide.
Take it on.
TXT.
Photoshop files. Yeah, they will come out some images of Photoshop files, and then your job is transfer that into code, and really working. So you just can come up to the whole design, whole idea, and your job is
He works here?
Just to code it.
I actually forget. I don't know. I never watched it actually.
I'm saying that. The dude that was just on the screen. See the one in the back with the hoodie? He work here?
I don't know. I never watched it. That's not.
Do they have like classes on Photoshop as well?
Yeah, we do. So if you check our programs here.
It's another program?
Yes, one program. Say the first one, the symbol is this program. Actually have another one, it's called DGO program. That's for digital design. That's over there. So that's the program. Yeah. That program.
So that's good. It goes hand in hand.
So in that class, they're gonna teach you how to create like a Photoshop, how to use the Adobe stuff to create some images, some designs. And our job here today is transfer the things into coding. Into something really working like this, right? yeah, everything here is basically is working. I have a milestone pages. It's going to be up soon. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So back to the story. So once they come up with a PDF, so not PDF, I keep saying PDF. It's a Photoshop. I'm going to transfer that into the really website. Since I'm the only developer here and they don't have time to create the Photoshop, so I have to design everything by myself. First they come up with the basic design. I could ask the boss if they like it, and if they then sometimes they're gonna say this is good, that is not good, and I'm gonna change it. And comes to version 2, another checkpoint, and then create another checkpoint, checkpoint 3, checkpoint 4. Once we come up with a final project, everyone is happy, we're gonna put that alive. That's how usually the work's done. And even after this is up to live, then that means that nothing gonna be changed in the future. It's already can come with some kind of like development life cycle. Every 2 weeks, we're going to doing some updates. Usually going to be every 2 weeks, or sometimes doing it every 4 weeks, sometimes doing it every 3 weeks. Usually going to be 2 weeks. So in these 2 weeks, we're going to looking for some errors. If any bugs found, going to be fixed in the next patch, which is going to be the updates in the next two weeks. We're going to fix errors, establish new features, and first we're going to design stuff, like come up with some idea, is that good, and if everything is good, and we put the things into coding, and everything is after the function is done, we're gonna spend about 3 or 4 days or even 1 week to test it. If the feature is really big, we're gonna spend some time to test it, make sure everything is working, and then on the last minute, the last second, like the last day, in the midnight when everyone is sleeping, we're gonna put that into live, and on the next Monday when you get up, you'll see it's a new page come up.
Wow.
So every 2 weeks we're gonna come up a circle, looking for bugs, adding new features, design new stuff, test it, everything's working, put it in live. Like that.
Is that why like a lot of government sites, they have to shut down for
usually gonna be shut down for a few hours or if something is really wrong, maybe shut for 1 day. But usually we're trying to keep it always alive. Because that's how you're getting money, how you're getting noticed, how you advertise yourself.
And you do it at night while everyone is sleeping, right?
Yeah.
Not losing the views and
Upload it when people are awake today.
But right now, there is basically no downtime for the website. What happens is when I uploading the new files, you are still able to see my old files. Like the old version is still working there while I'm uploading the new one. Once the new one is completely finished, I can choose the time when do we switch from the old one to the new one.
Yes.
And that's really how things happen right now. So we do not have to put the website shut down for a few hours. That's not good.
So beforehand you have to build the code and then when it's ready.
Yeah. So I actually built this website during this break, after the last semester they graduate, and before you come here, I built this.
Get out of here. That fast. I was like 2-3 months. I was like 2 months.
Actually, about 1 month. It won't be. Yeah.
So you did that 4 weeks. You did this in 4 weeks.
3 weeks. So you actually will be able to do that. It won't be so hard. You can. I also have this website, this project in the GitHub. So you can see
Yeah. I plugged your headphone jack in.
So there's an Urban League project. You see, I have 111 commits. Yeah.
What's it be for? What's the branches?
Branches?
Branches and environments. Is it like when you're working here and you're working at home?
No. Branches, we're gonna learn it soon in the lecture 3.
Okay.
As I said, it's going to be one branch can be something else. Like remember we talked about login branch, profile branch, and you can merge those branches. That is a branch.
Okay.
You will be able think about it when you have a team. You can have the different person working on different branches, so they won't influence each other.
Okay.
Basically, each branch is a copy of the source code. Instead of working on the real code, they're working on the copy of it. And then once they finish, we're gonna comparing that copy with the original files and bring everything new he wrote into the real one.
What's environments?
Environment here is where the website is published. Is showing. I deployed it into 2 places. One is at openleague.herewhere.com. Another is called openleague.clean.com. Because I actually have 2 versions of website. One is
for them to log in, for everyone to log in.
No. I mean, so it's kind of I first come up with a Ulium dash clean. This website is much simpler design, but this is like it's too much space, so I have to create another version. That is my story. I can show you the old version.
Okay.
So this is a new version. So it have some slides, have a lot of images, and another one is a simpler design. So it doesn't have such things. Link the herocool.com. This is just using some free domain to test it to make sure everything is working, and also I can show this to the customer, make sure they like it. If you're working as a freelance in the future, someone gonna come to you, ask you to, can you make a website for me like this, and you're going to use those free domains. Okay, let's finish this. Check out this. Is this something you like? If they like it, they're gonna pay the money to you, and you make it live for them.
But why some websites are not being able to incorporate into mobile? Is that a whole different?
It's not a whole different. It's just like when you design it, you need to make sure it looks good on the small devices.
Right.
There are some designs, for example.
Right, they're not acceptable in the format. Right?
For example, this is the old one I used to have. Like it's a little bit it's very similar, but doesn't have the slides on the top, something like that, and doesn't have an Instagram on the bottom. Just instead of it has some news here. So it's similar. They just prefer this one, so we're gonna use this one.
I do like this one better.
So think about this. If I open this website on a phone, I have this part. The screen is that small, and each card will be like that smaller.
Right.
No one gonna like it. So you have to design it. When it becomes a mobile devices, I'm not gonna make it really small. I just, instead of putting everything in one row, I just put them into different rows. Let's check it out. So
would that be a different version?
Format.
It's kind of like different version, but not actually. So see, right now everything is together. As I go in, when the screen getting smaller, see everything stacked together.
Right.
And still this is smaller.
Still legible.
Let's keep going. It becomes a stack.
Right.
And this is going to be a mobile version. Everything just in saying there was two things on one row. Now everything is just by itself.
Right.
So everything just by itself.
Makes it more presentable. Yeah.
It's still working on the mobile devices, and it's just when it comes to desktop, it just change story. So it's also very important to make sure your website is that's called responsive. It's very important to make sure you're using responsive design, because nowadays more people are having a phone rather than a computer.
Right.
There's many people, they don't even have a computer. They just view everything on their phone.
Right.
So we're gonna target the phone view at first. It's called mobile first. We're gonna make sure everything is mobile friendly, and then we're gonna make sure everything is desktop friendly.
Right, because people operate
It's very
on both
important to make sure.
both sides now, both formats.
Yeah, it's actually not that hard. You just need to make sure. So tell the browser, tell the code. When the screen gets set that smaller, you're gonna change the layout. I can put that thing here. It won't be so much work. Just tell it like when the screen gets smaller, change something. When the screen gets bigger, change something. That's it, right? And instead here, in here you won't say I want 3 inches for this picture. I only say I want it to always be 100% width. So no matter what no matter how wide the screen is, it's always going to be 100%. Using percent value instead of like accurate values.
But if you're doing something like this where it's switching, slides, I would think it would be a little bit more difficult to keep on a mobile version. So would you just make it simpler? It's
totally up to the designer, up to you, up to the developer. You can think about maybe on the mobile phone, I do not want to add
those websites, whatever the website.
If you are using the phone, using a mobile phone to create this website, you can think about maybe you can just hide the slides. Do not show this to the customer. Maybe make them comfortable. Or you can think about maybe I want to make a size even smaller, very small, just the size holding on top a little bit, and do not move, just stay stable, be there. It's just some design depends on yourself. Also depends on the customer feeling. That's another field in computer science. It's called user UX, user experience. Okay. That's another thing in this field. In computer science, there's a lot of topics like web development, mobile development, software development. So if you are interested in design, it's more like a UI and UX. UI stands for user interface, how the things are gonna look. And user experience stands for how the people are going to feel. Right? Right, so we'll talk too far. So where we were. Yeah. So we'll talk about GitHub. So yeah. So you need to create a GitHub account, right? It's very easy. Just go into GitHub. There is a sign up button. Enter your email, enter your information, and they're gonna send you a confirmation email, I believe, and you just verify it, and your account is created. Right? That's it. Do not have to create it right now. Just make sure you have it before next week. Yeah. Make sure you have it before next week. Next week we're gonna start really coding. Right now we're still learning some concepts.
But with the hub, that's how you copy the files to be able to work at the house, right?
Yeah, that's also going to be an online folder where you keep all your files, keep all your profile. And also, when you write a resume, you as a developer, you're usually going to put your GitHub profile link on your resume. So if they're interested in you, they're going to click that link, check what project you've done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So during this program, you're gonna do about more than 10 projects. You're gonna complete more than 10 projects. I will help you to complete all those projects, and we're gonna upload them to the GitHub and make them look professional.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So that's like part of your resume.
So you're gonna have some small projects, like really tiny, and like some for some practice, and you're gonna have a final project that's going to be team projects, really big, really expensive. And also we're gonna have a couple of assignments. Each assignment, like assignment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are connected together. Gonna become a project. Assignment 1, when we start to design something. Assignment 2, adding some function to it. Assignment 3, adding more function to it. Assignment 4, adding database to it. Assignment 5, make user log into it. So all of them are connected together, make you a huge project, which is going to be presented.
Which is going to be what?
Presented.
Yeah, it's going to be something you can show to your to the employee. You're going to, instead of like having some really easy ones, let's create something more.
But they're not gonna make us write codes on a piece of paper, right?
That is an interview process. We're going to talk about that later.
So we should have our final project in mind when we do our first assignment?
No, final project is going to be the last month of this program. I'm going to give you time to form into teams and start doing something else, something you are really interested in. I'm going to give you some minimum requirements. For example, for your website, you're going to have at least one kinds of user, or maybe two kinds of users. Think about website like eBay. They have two kinds of user, seller and buyer. Right? Yeah, two kinds of user, seller, buyer, right? Then you think about like maybe you'll come up with a student management system, like the M symbol, instructor and student, two kinds of user. So most of the websites have more than one kind of users right now. Like let's come up with more example, like Amazon, yes, so buyer or seller, and what's that called? I'm coming with the name again. I'm really bad in memories right now. So what is the one you're looking for food and restaurants? Yeah, so those for all those kinds of application, you're gonna have the buyer and the store itself. Like the store is going to create their account online and show their menus, their prices, and you can make tables there, make reservations there. That kind of a user, the store. Another user is a buyer or the customer. Right, two kinds of user, or maybe even three kinds of user. Yeah. So.
I'm sorry. So we have two projects that we're going to do. We have the one that
we have more than 10 projects.
More than 10. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have two really big ones.
Yeah.
One is going to be all the assignments combined. Going to be one big one, and we're gonna have final projects. We're gonna spend 1 month on it.
Okay.
That's gonna be two projects, and also gonna have a lot of smaller ones, like design a website for hotel, make some small games, make a bookmark app. Make some unit converter. If you enter centimeter, I can help you convert it to the inches. Some small things to practice for fun and also to show your skills.
Gotcha.
Right?
I'm about to say USB so I can save everything.
It's gonna save to the GitHub.
Yeah, you
I
don't need
gotta
to
send it to the cloud. Well, what if somebody breaks into the cloud?
What?
What if somebody breaks into the cloud?
To what?
To the GitHub.
Sorry, anyway.
Like, you know how people be breaking into websites, like, what's his name, WikiLeaks, the guy?
Yeah.
What's his name? But he
So
said-
you need to know like why do the people break into a website?
to get more information on people.
Yeah, but think about GitHub. It is public. Everyone can just take it. Why do you want to break into it? It's public for everyone to use.
So with WikiLeaks, it's still wrong.
Well, the people that they break into website, they really want to get in your personal information. Like they get into your bank account, getting your money, they get into Facebook, getting your book, getting your Facebook, getting your personal information, your some like your birthdays, your address, those things. But do not have those things in the GitHub. Just code. Do you want the code? Just take it. But if you use it, I'm gonna sue you. Right? That's the case. So no one's gonna break into your GitHub. Right? No one's gonna break into your GitHub.
So after you break it into it, I don't even know how to do code.
Alright, that's alright. We only have 10 minutes left. Let's try to finish this one. Alright. So we just talked about you need to create a GitHub account, and right now let's try to download the file. For this lady, she just provide us a link of her GitHub account. This is one project done in the GitHub. So this one is Asterios. So right now we're going to clone this project into our computer and try to check her working history. Right. So what we're going to do here right now is let's minimize everything. Go to desktop. Minimize everything. So I'm gonna right click here, git bash here. We'll try to start doing git bash something, right? Right. So what I'm gonna do is I want to download her project, her folder, the whole folder, all the files inside it. Not only the file, but also her working history. When you usually download some files online, it's not gonna be any working history. But if you're using git clone, it's not only gonna download the files, also all the git logs, all the histories, working history is gonna be downloaded to you. This is how you make it easier to collaborate with others, right? So let's check it. So we're gonna do git clone, and using the URL of the project, this thing here, this whole URL, just copy that, put that into here. Git clone this thing, right? And just hit enter, and seeing cloning everything into this folder, remote something, and remote something total is 209 some files, and like receiving 100%, everything is done. You should be able to find that file folder in your desktop.
You can do that with anything.
Yeah, you can download any folders on GitHub.
And when you clone it, whatever folder you're in, that's what it's gonna download to.
Yeah. So okay. So I just downloaded the asteroid. So you see the folder is here, and everything is just come up. Those are the files he has in the project. Next time he had. I didn't do that files. She did it. Okay, readme 3, 9, 4, 5, 6. And I don't even know what they are, but it's just files they have in the project. I just cloned it.
You can do any site,
Not any site, just all the projects in the GitHub.
Oh, okay. So you just can't go to Bonnie's or...
It's not going to work if you don't have a GitHub yet.
It will work.
No, it's not working. It's saying I need to sign into the GitHub login.
Oh, really?
You're on the wrong page.
Huh, okay. Yeah, try to clone it. If that's not working, try to sign up a GitHub account.
Just do like a regular website like that?
No, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. You can only only to be
You have to
GitHub.
say .git, right?
Oh, okay.
You do not have to put .git. As long as it's in GitHub, you just copy the URL and put it in.
I see.
So I finished the other lesson this
No, I'm summing it all up. I'm not even doing that. Honestly, I'm working on my GitHub. No, I said I'm working on my GitHub.
You get college credit.
I did graduate. Yeah, I did.
You get college credit.
I got 12 college credits.
from Cambridge College.
Oh, that's what's up.
We get
Yeah,
some nice
when my
stuff.
friend she got into Brown Brothers when she did.
It ain't
Yes.
the lesson.
So we just
Definitely not the
yeah,
lesson.
it's going to
It's actually, you're already downloaded.
And the other thing is that, so basically all this stuff you can do, we can do all this stuff here?
then the investigation is online.
I got my check.
Software
We'll
was
go to here now.
it's right out
You
there.
didn't download the
Yeah,
app.
that's my house.
Yeah, that's how you
That's
do it.
what's in it.
Yeah, actually.
Right, so
It was imagined done.
For GitHub, for the photos for GitHub, should it be professional photos, or it could be like, is it a more playful environment?
it's kind of like more playable, but I suggest you to using some little bit professional one if you are looking for a job.
I'm looking for a job, right?
Yeah, if you're looking for a job, but if you just coding for fun, coding just do some freelance, feel free to use it.
You can't use any picture because they're copyrighted, right? You have to get permission.
You're obviously gonna using your own pictures. That's your own. That's you.
Like here.
Yeah. I mean,
Like upper.
Not take pictures.
There's like a rocket a little, like a red light space.
you can you see the picture they are using. It's not even a human. So feel free to use any picture for the GitHub, but only using some offensive.
Yeah, nothing offensive. Yeah, nothing offensive.
Oh, shoot.
I don't know.
Yes, yeah, but if you want a job, then why do you
I
want
wouldn't
to
do
see
something
that?
like that. I just
Put any picture, but not like a offensive pictures. Anything will be a fine. Yeah. Right. It's not like it's not gonna have like a thing. It's not an online profile. It's just a place to save your coding things. They won't they won't care so much about your photos here, but just do not put things too offensive. Alright. Yeah. So yep. So once you download the file, you'll be able to see the files here. If you cannot do that, maybe you need to sign up a GitHub account first. You can do it over the weekend. Oh, actually tomorrow, we still have tomorrow, right? So
You zooming ahead. He said over the weekend. He's already on Friday.
right?
He's like, oh yeah, y'all have to come
He's ready for
tomorrow.
Friday.
Like, damn. Damn, I got a class
So-
tomorrow too.
we're going to open the Git bash here, or you can just using the old one, change the directory, take it into this one, and then we're going to start checking the history of it. We're checking what history she did.
That's why you're going to.
You know it's about time to go,
You're
right?
going to change the directory so you can see the asterisk and then you get LS.
Git log.
Or get
Get
log.
logged.
That's all the changes she made. Like this, all the commits here. That's about 60 commits. All the commits going to be showing here. That's a lot. Right? That's a lot of changes.
If we want to see less, will we do git log, that line, and ls?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You can try it. I've never done that. So that is a git log. And if you want to exit this mode, just hit Q for quit. You're gonna quit it. You'll be able to type some new command if you want. And she actually come up with some questions here. Ask us. So what is the ID of the commit with the message reward controls?
That B1.
Let's looking for that one. Where is the remote controls? It's git log. Take a look. Remote controls. Looking for that.
You can't just do control.
Here. See. Remote controls. I found it.
the bird controls.
Yeah.
See Bucky.
So the ID is this one.
Yo, see.
That is the ID. The whole thing. You don't need to remember that. Just copy it.
Just copy it.
Yeah. No one gonna remember that. That's just some identity. Like it's just unique for this commit. Copy that. Let's copy the. Oops. It's really hard to copy. Copy it.
The ID.
Yeah, some kind of like tracking number which is unique, like your social security number. It's unique. That's for this commit. So alright. So we got that commit ID, and then we put it here. This is the question. What is the ID for that? That's it. Alright. And the second question: how many lines were ended in that commit?
4 and 4.
How many lines were deleted? So to know that, you cannot directly read it from the Git history. It's not gonna tell you between this commit and that commit how many lines it changes. So you will have to using git diff to comparing the previous commit and this commit, and then you will know between those two commits how many lines I changed.
Get there.
Right? That makes
You
sense?
gotta do the 23rd and then the 24th.
So right. So between so the one I want to make sure is in the reward control in this one, how many lines of I changed. So we're gonna comparing this one and the one before it. So I know how many changes I did in this one. Let's try it. We're gonna quit it, and we're gonna say git diff. Put the ID for the first one.
Yeah.
I just copied it before. Here, this one.
You didn't copy all of it.
I just copied it before I
Right.
did. And why it looks different?
It looks
I
weird.
think you just grabbed half of it. That's why. I think
Maybe let's try it again. So start from here.
Wait, even the space.
Even space fine. It's fine. You have extra space.
Alright,
It's not doesn't matter. It's here.
Alright.
Like you have so many space between it. There's the first one and the second one is here. Even you have space, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you have at least one space between them.
Yeah.
Paste. Right, 2.
Yep.
Hit enter. Here are the changes. So there are some changes in game.js, and deleted 4 files, added 4 files. And if I looking them in detail, you can see I added one line here, removed one line here. That is 1, and keep going. Remove 1, adding another one. Remove 2, adding 2, and 3. Keep going. 4. That's end. That's getting to the end. So that means we added 4 lines, removed 4 lines. That's gonna be the answer for this question. Right? 4. Oops. Submit the answer, and that's it. Right? We're going to stop right
To
here.
find the commit which reverses
And we're gonna finish the rest of it tomorrow. Right? We'll finish tomorrow.
Did you miss the way?
Yeah.
Today. You had to fix the tie.
I can't even go to see that. That's the worst thing about it. Yeah.
Right.